One man signed your daughter's birth certificate, yet another man is paying child support. Father who is paying support for a child you believe is not yours.
Yes, Your Honor.
I was living across the street from him, and I seen him standing out there, and I was like, oh, he is fine together. So therefore, he had me thinking we were together.
No,
but
it was just a hookup. That's all it was.
Had a positive result. Did you contact Mr. Harris?
No, I did not. I contacted the other guy.
So this other man was with you through the pregnancy?
Yes, he was. I was actually hoping that the other guy was, because I know that Mr. Harris was not going to be there.
Well, actually,
So you were named the father by default because
Yes.
you failed to show up for your DNA test.
And
Jasmine is 4.
yeah, she's 4.
The courtroom atmosphere opens with a sense of restrained tension, shaped by the people who enter carrying years of conflict, unanswered questions, and burdens that have finally reached the threshold of law. Judge Lauren Lake presides with her characteristic balance of firmness and compassion, representing the ongoing struggle within jurisprudence, the relationship between law and justice, and how each case attempts to unite the two. The people seated before her are not actors, but individuals attempting to navigate the emotional and legal weight of parental responsibilities, accusations, and the consequences of their decisions. The first set of individuals entering the courtroom comes from a complicated background filled with misunderstandings, child support enforcement, and years of mixed responsibilities. The mother, identified in the provided material as Ms. Ritchell, stands before the judge hopping to confirm the biological father of her child. The description reveals that one man signed the birth certificate while another has been paying child support, and these contradictions become the focus of the hearing. Judge Lauren Lake listens as Ms. Ritchell explains her past decisions, including how she involved more than one man during the pregnancy. At this early evidence stage in a case, the court begins with foundational facts, focusing on timelines, relationships, and inconsistencies. The court record shows that the man potentially responsible, Mr. Harris, never actually attended the initial DNA test, and because of that absence, he was legally declared the father by default. This invokes legal principles such as adverse inference in evidence, where failure to participate leads the court to infer responsibility. In his situation, default judgment escalated into child support arrears, resulting in jail time and strained relationships. The file shows that Mr. Harris spent over 2 months incarcerated due to delinquent amounts, demonstrating how even administrative rulings can dramatically alter someone's life. Is a married man the father of? Judge Lauren Lake listens without judgment, but with steady attention to legal morality. Cases like this echo topics often discussed in the Truth Changes Everything podcast and the Game Changing Attorney podcast, where legal professionals speak about how a single missed appointment, misunderstanding, or poorly documented moment can change the entire course of a person's future. The narrative inside this courtroom mirrors those discussions, where family law intersects with personal choices, and where justice attempts to correct the consequences of miscommunication. Inside this courtroom, the structure is simple: the judge, the litigants, the court officer, and an audience witnessing the unfolding of painful truths. Yet beneath the simplicity lies the depth of jurisprudence, the ongoing search for fairness and truth. Ms. Ritchell explains how another man was present during the pregnancy, providing support and signing the birth certificate. Her decisions were influenced by her belief that the second man would offer more consistency, which introduces one of the essential themes explored in legal commentary: how emotional decisions intersect with legal responsibilities. Judge Lauren Lake steadily draws clarity from the confusion. Each party speaks out of frustration, the mother defending herself from accusations about her lifestyle, the potential father attempting to make sense of how he became legally responsible despite uncertainty, and the wife of the accused father expressing disbelief over suddenly discovering a child she never knew existed. The courtroom becomes a space where people regret taking certain steps, especially decisions made without full information or honesty. As the judge navigates the testimonies, the framework resembles episodes of the Divorce Course podcast, where the emotional chaos of relationships meets the structural requirements of the law. When Ms. Ritchell states that only 2 men could be the father, and another witness claims a potential third man was mentioned privately, the tension highlights how fragile credibility becomes during family disputes. Judge Lauren Lake keeps the discussion grounded in verifiable facts, reminding everyone that DNA does not bow to assumptions or emotions. Eventually, the DNA results are presented. When the judge reads them, the atmosphere in the courtroom shifts dramatically. The court learns that Mr. Harris is the biological father. His reaction mixes shock, resignation, and emotional exhaustion. The judge shifts into a mode resembling the encouraging tone often found in Celebrate Recovery testimonies, urging him to step up, behave responsibly, and move forward in the child's life despite past conflict. Is a married man the father of? The next portion of the file transitions to an adoption-related situation. A woman named Ms. Epstein enters the courtroom to address a deeply personal question: the identity of her biological father. Her experience reflects themes often highlighted in adoption stories' full episodes, where individuals describe feelings of disconnection, identity confusion, and emotional isolation. She shares how learning about her adoption shaped her youth, leading to rebellious behavior, boarding schools, homelessness, and the eventual adoption of her own children. These moments reflect not only individual struggles, but also the broader human consequences behind legal decisions. Judge Lauren Lake, in her role as the court's emotional anchor, ensures that the environment remains respectful and structured. When Ms. Epstein meets the man believed to be her biological father, the courtroom becomes a space of vulnerability. This man, Mr. Robertson, admits the possibility of being the father, but shares that he had never been informed of her existence. Their interaction adds depth to the discussion surrounding the concept of justice in jurisprudence. Justice is not merely a ruling, it is also the attempt to repair broken human bonds. As this portion unfolds, the judge asks about the father's relationship with the mother. He recalls the circumstances vaguely, suggesting they met at a party many years ago. He explains he raised other children alone and expresses uncertainty, but also hope that he is indeed her father. His emotional reaction, combined with Ms. Epstein's vulnerability, creates a unique courtroom moment where justice serves as both determination and healing. When the DNA results confirm he is the father, both individuals show relief and gratitude. The emotional weight is visible even through descriptive excerpts. Judge Lauren Lake emphasizes the beauty of reconnection and urges them to move forward constructively. The courtroom audience often reacts warmly during these moments, but the judge maintains the professional environment meant to uphold fairness and order. Is a married man the father of? Following this, the court proceeds with another case involving twin infants and accusations of infidelity. This section reflects a scenario common in DNA test cheating stories, where doubt overshadows trust and strains a relationship. The mother, Ms. Robinson, defends herself from repeated accusations made by her partner, Mr. Smith, who believes the twins resemble his best friend more than himself. Their disagreements revolve around daily interactions, small observations, and insecurities that have grown over time. Judge Lauren Lake approaches this situation systematically, reviewing timelines, actions and behavior. The father expresses that he believes the conception timeline does not align with his incarceration dates, which caused him to doubt paternity. He also explains feeling pressured into signing the birth certificates, raising concerns related to legal obligations and Supreme Court child support principles. The judge guides the conversation with steady control, ensuring that both parties understand the difference between suspicion and evidence. She reminds them that once a birth certificate is signed, the law recognizes legal parentage regardless of biological connection, unless overturned through appropriate proceedings. This reinforces the courtroom's focus on structure and justice, consistent with modern legal education and podcasts that analyze how law functions in real life. When Mr. Fuller, the friend, is brought into the courtroom, the dynamic shifts again. He denies any romantic involvement, clarifying his presence was coincidental or innocent. His nervous behavior and the tension between all parties demonstrate how mistrust has escalated into full-blown suspicion. Judge Lauren Lake guides each participant to focus on facts, not fears. Finally, the DNA test results confirm that Mr. Smith is the father of the twins. His emotional apology reveals how doubt consumed him, and the judge again emphasizes accountability, trust, and forward progress. She encourages the couple to rebuild their relationship and stabilize their home for the sake of the children. Is a married man the father of? These combined courtroom stories highlight how the truth can settle disputes, heal relationships, and challenge assumptions. The uploaded files cases show the emotional complexity behind legal processes, where every participant faces consequences shaped by choices, misunderstandings, or lack of clarity. In Judge Lauren Lake's courtroom, justice becomes a living process, one shaped by documents, DNA, testimony, and the human desire for closure. As the courtroom proceedings continue, the atmosphere carries the weight of the stories presented earlier. The misassigned fatherhood, the long-lost daughter seeking biological truth, and the fragile relationship shaken by suspicion. Yet Judge Lauren Lake remains constant, guiding each case with the firm understanding that truth in family court often does more than settle legal obligations. It reshapes entire identities. In this final portion of the overall narrative, the courtroom transitions into a broader reflection of what happens when law attempts to manage the emotional complexities of human behavior. Each litigant who stands before the judge enters with their own version of events, but the court is structured to filter those stories through evidence, timelines, and legal principles. It is in this environment that the deeper concept of justice in jurisprudence reveals itself. Justice must balance law, fairness, accountability, and the emotional realities of the people involved. Judge Lauren Lake often speaks about how DNA results do not simply provide biological answers, but also uncover deeper personal truths that affect family bonds, parental responsibility, and individual identity. The earlier cases introduced in the uploaded material are examples of how individuals enter court carrying layers of denial, regret, or confusion. In this final descriptive section, the courtroom becomes a place to understand what those revelations mean long after the results are read. One of the underlying themes connecting all these cases is the way people handle regret. Many moments in the hearings demonstrate that people regret taking certain steps, missing a DNA appointment, choosing silence over truth, allowing insecurity to override communication, or waiting too long to seek help. Yet the judge's role is not to condemn past mistakes, but to ensure that future steps align with legal standards and ethical responsibilities. Her courtroom becomes a place where these regrets are addressed in a structured, disciplined manner. These cases, when viewed collectively, resemble real-life discussions heard in modern legal commentary platforms such as the Truth Changes Everything podcast, the Game-Changing Attorney podcast, and the Divorce Course podcast. These shows often explore how the law tries to interpret complex human relationships, especially when DNA, child support, or family structure is involved. Judge Lauren Lake's Courtroom illustrates these themes vividly. Each case begins with emotion, but ends with evidence. The final section of the description focuses on how the courtroom handles aftermath, the period after DNA results are delivered. For the individuals involved, these results represent more than just legal documents. They become emotional milestones. The mother in the first case must now adjust to the confirmed identity of her child's father. She has lived for years with uncertainty, conflict, and the pressure of managing two different men associated with her daughter. Now, with the truth confirmed, she must navigate co-parenting and responsibility with clarity, even if the relationship between her and the father remains strained. The father, previously incarcerated for unpaid child support, must also face a new reality. He entered the courtroom expecting to confront injustice or challenge assumptions, but the results confirm his responsibility. This scenario mirrors real situations analyzed in Supreme Court child support discussions, where legal fatherhood binds individuals not only financially but morally. The courtroom in this case shows how child support enforcement intersects with personal responsibility, and how critical timely participation in legal processes becomes. Moving to the adoption-related case, the emotional weight remains strong. When the woman seeking her biological father receives confirmation, the courtroom becomes a bridge between her past and future. Judge Lauren Lake often emphasizes that reconnection after adoption is a deeply transformative moment. Many viewers describe similar experiences through adoption stories' full episodes, where families separated by circumstance reconnect through DNA. The courtroom becomes a space that holds both the pain of separation and the relief of confirmation. What the judge achieves in such cases is more than legal order. She stabilizes emotional uncertainty. For Ms. Epstein, identifying her father gives her a piece of her identity she had been missing for years. In these types of hearings, the court environment mirrors the emotional journeys described in Celebrate Recovery testimonies, where individuals reflect on their past pain and begin to rebuild their sense of belonging. The father, equally emotional, now carries the responsibility of building a relationship that never had the chance to develop naturally. The courtroom provides a structured starting point for that process. The final portion of the uploaded material, the case involving the twins, represents a different angle of courtroom truth. Whereas the first two situations revolved around long-term confusion or loss, this case emerges from suspicion and insecurity in a current relationship. The mother tries to maintain stability while facing continuous accusations, and the father battles doubts fueled by timing, coincidence, and perceived flirtations. This type of emotional chaos frequently appears in DNA test cheating stories, where partners reach breaking points due to mistrust. When the DNA results confirm the father's biological connection to the twins, the judge redirects the couple's energy away from conflict and toward rebuilding trust. She reminds them that legal responsibility is only one part of healthy parenting. Emotional responsibility matters just as much. Her approach captures the essential message found in broader legal commentary about the relationship between law and justice. The law can establish facts, but justice requires addressing emotional harm, insecurity, and communication breakdowns. This outcome forces the father to reconsider his behavior. His apology demonstrates how powerful clarity can be in restoring relationships. Judge Lauren Lake ensures that this apology turns into action, reminding him that emotional stability for the children requires stable conduct from both parents. She encourages them to seek counseling, improve communication, and resolve lingering insecurities. As the final moments of the overall courtroom narrative unfold, the judge reflects on the structure of justice itself. Every individual enters the courtroom seeking solutions, but they also bring their emotional histories, disappointments, misunderstandings, and fears. The judge's responsibility is to ensure that adverse inference in evidence does not result in injustice, that people understand the consequences of their choices, and that truth forms the foundation of the final ruling. These cases collectively highlight the fragility and resilience of human relationships. They demonstrate how DNA plays a transformative role in modern family law, how child support rulings affect families long-term, and how misunderstanding can escalate into legal crises. Judge Lauren Lake embodies the structured compassion necessary to guide people through these life-altering moments. What makes these cases particularly powerful is that they echo common experiences shared in podcasts, legal seminars, and personal testimonies. They reveal how the law operates not only as a system of rules, but as a tool for resolving emotional conflict. The structure of the courtroom, the order of evidence, and the authority of the judge all serve to protect fairness, especially when emotions threaten to overwhelm logic. The hearings also highlight an important truth. Legal processes are not here to replace emotional healing but to support it. Whether individuals regret their past decisions, fear the outcome, or struggle with trust, the courtroom becomes the place where they confront those feelings under the protection of legal procedure. Judge Lauren Lake's insistence on clarity and responsibility reflects the foundational goals of jurisprudence, to ensure that justice aligns with truth, not assumptions. As the description closes, the cases collectively represent the emotional landscape of family court. The mother from the first case now knows the truth, ending years of confusion. The father must step into responsibility with newfound certainty. The adopted woman finally understands her origins, and the biological father gains a daughter he never knew he had. The couple with twins must rebuild trust, guided by clarity and accountability. These moments demonstrate the merging of personal struggle and legal structure. They show how essential the courtroom becomes when human stories collide with legal obligations. Judge Lauren Lake's guidance anchors each story, reminding everyone that truth, even when painful, creates the foundation for fairness. The courtroom, therefore, becomes more than a place of rulings. It becomes a place where identity, responsibility, and justice meet. In the end, what ties these stories together is the simple yet profound reality that DNA does not lie. It does not bend to emotion, fear, or assumption. It provides clarity in situations clouded by human complexity. These hearings remind us why truth matters and why the courtroom remains essential for resolving the most intimate and difficult disputes. Through the authority of Judge Lauren Lake and the structure of family law, each participant leaves the courtroom not just with answers, but with a new path forward. One shaped by clarity, accountability, and the pursuit of justice.